draws inspiration from a wide variety of art forms, particularly hip hop. And tonight, he is doing a one-man telling of something that I'm looking forward to seeing. Please put your hands together again for her.
Ahmed, late 40s, approaching 50, salt and pepper beard, still has his hair in decent shape, cleanly shaved, and his hair cropped very short, a number 2 crew cut. So I'm sitting in a coffee shop, 200 degrees coffee shop in barista school, and I'm waiting for Sarah. And we could have met up in London, but we needed somewhere free from the past. Our past. It's been 12 years since I left Sarah's mum, and it's been 6 years since Sarah and I even spoke. And we're already entering this conversation laden with bags full of misunderstandings, grievance and anger. So, Birmingham it is. And she can go to that D&D shop and indulge her autistic geek to take the edge off if this conversation just goes sideways. Oh, hang on, phone's buzzing. Hey Emmett, Sarah here. Trains are playing up. I'm going to be an hour late. See you soon. Man, it still stings when Sarah calls me Emmett. I mean, I'm her dad, and it's been 6 years since she's called me dad. Like I wasn't nervous enough, and now I've got to wait another hour or so. I felt less anxious waiting for a root canal. At least with a root canal, you know what you're going to get. So what would you do in this situation? Menu, please. This lovely, friendly waitress just rocks up to my table and places a menu in my hands. And I thank her and ask her what's good. And she knocks me off my feet when she tells me the specials. We've got biryani and lasagna. So I just pull my brand new shiny spectacles off my nose bridge and I shoot her a quick glance. And she looks at me cheekily and she just says, "You know it's Birmingham, right?" I swear it's Birmingham. I'm not moving here, but I'm going to visit soon. I mean, this shit is just a little different to the shit we have in London. I glance at my watch. Oof, I've done 18,379 steps. I'm definitely ordering the biryani and the lasagna. East meets west on a bunch of plates. Plus Sarah will be here soon. Hopefully, she's less of a fussy eater than before and has brought an appetite. So the food comes out and whew, damn, that aroma. But the real judo move comes from the radio, and I hear... Is it any wonder by Keane? I mean, it's 2029. Who the fuck is playing Keane in a cafe? I smile while thinking of Sarah's mum, Alia. God, we were kids. Too young, just too young. I was 25 and she was 22. She was just like 1 year out of uni and pivoting her career into teaching. I remember just us traipsing around Southampton, perusing bookshops with Keane's Is It Any Wonder, getting heavy rotation on the radio. I honestly felt like my life was starting. And we talk about all the children we were going to have. I mean, I was pushing for 4. We started and ended with Sarah. Not a bad thing. Sarah's full of fire and always has been. And Alia was this utter weirdo. I mean, there were plenty of weirdos in college and uni, but Alia was like this Desi South Asian weirdo, and she was interested in me. This after an adolescence of being ignored by all the girls, and now there's this smart, cute girl who just, survived. It's crazy. I can't remember the last time I even thought about the good times. Hell, I'd even convinced myself that the good times didn't exist. I don't even know where it was that my memory got skewed. I mean, I spent so long angry, hurting and hurtling towards an abyss devoid of purpose. Oh. Phone goes again. Hey babe. I say that before I even thought about it. I mean, Sarah doesn't respond. And what am I supposed to say now? There's this awkward pause, and before I even have a chance to fix it, she just says, yeah, look, try not to force that, Ahmed. Look, the delays, there's more delays. I don't know, maybe today's not meant to be. It stings. Her not calling me dad, it still stings. My heart is in my mouth. I mean, I really had to prime myself for today. I don't want to be pushy with Sarah, but I don't want to seem like I don't give a shit. John, look, I get it, but I've got time. I've ordered food and I can order more when you're here. Sarah's quick to reply. I see what you did there, switching up to Urdu. You're persistent, I'll give you that. And she grunts. It's more effort to turn back than it is to just push through these delays. So they have rosemary fries. Now this is my moment to shine, and I jump into the conversation, barely giving Sarah a pause. Why do you think I chose this cafe? I see what you did there, she replies. I don't think I've been this happy in a while, and I played at Glastonbury the last 3 summers. A B for effort, Ahmed, she says. Now the party in my head and heart shifts from 6th gear to 3rd. Whoa, I thought I was tough when I judged poetry slams. You're stingy with the grades. What's it going to take for me to get an A grade, huh? And Sarah just starts chuckling, and then she gives a pause. More. It's going to take more. Maybe you're not dissing my taste in music for a start and just humouring me instead. I jump out of my seat, excited and just unnerving the largely white clientele. We're talking. I'm getting a rise out of her. It's something. I put Sarah at ease. Sarah, I'm going to be here. I've ordered biryani and lasagna. That'll keep me busy. I'll order more when you get here. Cool, she says. And she hangs up the phone. Now the playlist has moved on in the cafe, so I put on my headphones, and I put up Spotify on my phone, and I just search for Keen and Is It Any Wonder, and I just put it on a loop, on repeat. And I start repeatedly just playing with these torn seams in my right trouser pocket, and they're loosening. I'm still at the cafe in Brum, but I'm just teleporting through time and space in my head. Now in recent years, I've tried to channel this tendency and funnel it into my writing, but that tune by Keane is just doing bits of my psyche. I'm back in the house I shared with Sarah and Alia. Seriously, I love this place. I was sad when we had to put it up on the market. It was inevitable. Anyway, let me park my ADHD for a second. I'll try and keep these tangents to a bare minimum. So I'm back in the house I share with Sarah, and I'm walking up the stairs, and I love the carpet that Alia's put on the stairs. She's put in this carpet that only runs down the middle of the wooden stairs, and the rest it's all just painted white, beautifully sanded down. And this carpet reminds me of the woman I fell in love with 7 years ago. It's like Alia went to Joseph's tailor and asked for a Technicolor carpet. Man, when we first got together, she loved my crazy references and my all-round zaniness. I miss that smile of hers back then. I walk up the stairs and into the hallway at the top, and the walls are just covered in framed photos. It's a highlights reel, heavily curated by Alia. I don't like what I see, but I can't turn away. They've always been there, but it's either I wasn't, or I was, I don't know. I just didn't see what they were trying to tell me. 10 years of marriage, 7 of that as a parent, and I'm not in any of these. Hell, I wasn't even holding the camera in over half of these. I see it now. I continue to time travel through memories of family life. I'm sat down with Sarah and Alia and we're having dinner. And I've got to take a moment to just talk about this room. I remember when Alia and I moved up to London with Sarah, a little 9-month-old babe in arms. We lived in some shitholes, dank places, roaches, mice, piss poor lighting. Mate, terrible lighting fixtures, next to no lateral light. But this room is the exact opposite. It's beautiful, open plan living room, and the dining room. There's a huge bay window at the front, and the back has these huge sliding patio doors. Today, it's the ultimate advertisement for this room. It's an estate agent's dream, but I'm not selling. At least not yet. My hand hasn't been forced yet. The sun is shining bright. Back when we lived in shitholes, Alia and I, we weren't perfect, but we were a team. It was us against the world, and we were trying to just build this life together. And it's mad. Things are the complete inverse now. We've got the home we always dreamed of, and I feel like we've arrived. However, I'm sitting down, having dinner with Alia and Sarah, and we're arguing. I don't care that my food is getting cold. I'm animated and I can't contain myself. Alia looked the footage, read accounts of it. Black people are dying when coming into contact with the police. The police have a tough job, she says. All that evidence and that's your response? I'm trying to regulate my emotions and I'm losing the battle. It's racism, can't you see? I burst out loud. You can't prove that, Ahmed. And I don't see racism there, it's not that simple. Yeah, it can be when it is, I replied. Well, I know you spend a lot of time getting angry about this stuff with your friends. You and your friends just go join the police, change it from the inside. My blood pressure just rises. Are you serious? It's a corrupt institution. Alia and I turn our attention to Sarah and we speak in unison. Look, Mummy and Daddy aren't arguing, we just feel strongly about things. We get really passionate when we discuss our feelings. Sarah's currently 6 years old and she humours us, gets back to rearranging the food on her plate and just eating it. Alia, I just can't. The directions of these conversations, I just can't. Can't what, she replied. I can't handle it. I mean, look, when we met, you were like this conservative Muslim, and I get you've changed, but since you started rationalising genocide back a couple of years ago, it's been getting harder to deal with. Alia calmly responds. Look, I simply said if we had a few natural disasters in the world, it would reduce the burden. Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, Alia, like fucking Ayn Rand. Ahmed, until you've read her work, you can't keep being dismissive. I'm not subjecting myself to 100 pages of words from that selfish cow. I get up, my food unfinished, and I put my dishes in the kitchen. I'm realising something. We have irreconcilable differences. I return to the dining table and I want to be in the same room as Sarah. I make it how clear or upset I am. I mean, my brain turns into a pinball machine, just different thoughts and reactions just ricocheting everywhere. I'm trying to pay attention here, but I'm also observing our daughter Sarah. She's got the chicken separated from the veg, separated from the carbs. Nothing's touching each other. And she attacks the veg first, then the carbs, and the chicken. What must she be thinking? Does she even buy what her mum and I told her earlier? I never paid attention to it before, but I'm realising I'm married to a woman who just lacks empathy. And it isn't even the regularity of the arguments that gets to me, it's the content of them. Ever since she read Ayn Rand, her empathy eroded. Major oversight on my part, but I chose to see what I chose to see. And I used to be filled with rage against Alia, blaming everything that went wrong between us on her. She didn't respect me, she slowly cut me off from my friends. I keep putting it on her, but I've got to accept that some of this is on me. I mean, I've got to focus on what I could have done better. Maybe I could have gotten therapy sooner. Maybe I could have just figured myself out faster. I digress, however. I'm clocking Sarah, and she thinks she's being sly, giving me the impression that she's fixated on her food and the idiosyncratic manner in which she just attacks her food, but she's clocking what's going on between her mum and I. I swore I wasn't going to repeat the patterns I was raised in. My parents, they argued often, and there was a clear imbalance in the power dynamic. Every day at home with Alia now, these days, it's like deja vu. I don't want this for myself or Sarah, but I'm locked in a pattern. I could walk, leave, but that's just another pattern I'd be repeating. I'm snookered. No win-win scenario here, just impossible trade-offs. Anyway, I'm still in the cafe, and Keen's Is It Any Wonder is still on loop on my headphones. God bless Spotify. I can't change the past, and Alia and I argued and didn't give Sarah the best environment. I left Alia hoping to break that cycle of my parents by not living out decades of dysfunction. I mean, they never even acknowledged what happened. They never apologized. That level of denial stuck with me for decades. The past could never be changed, but there's so much power in the present. What a missed opportunity. I remember this old message. Got it back in 2023. It's from Sarah. Never ever deleted it. Just kept it there. Look, Ahmed, fine. You got therapy. Good for you. You've turned a leaf. But what about me? It's not fucking fair that the only man I had in my life was my grandfather. So I just don't need you. You live your life and I live mine. Yeah? Okay, bye. And that was the turning point when she stopped calling me dad. Summer of 2023. All I wanted to do was just present my side of the story back then and just to tell her that her mum wasn't perfect and that she drove me to leave. But that's all about me. And her mum, I just don't even want to dwell. Like I said, what could I have done better back then? I've spent years deflecting from those questions. And now? What can I do now? Sarah, you startled me. Didn't mean to, she says. Sarah sits down and she's changed a lot. I mean, she's still short and skinny, but her hair is cropped like a bob cut and her face is filled out a bit. She even looks more like Harley than before. Wow, biryani and lasagna. That's basically Nan and Mum on a plate together. I decide to break the ice. Look, I don't want to... Look, you and I were never big on small talks, so I had this whole talk rehearsed. My side of the story, all of that, and I was going to get into it, but I just don't want to anymore. What's changed, Ahmed? Your train, getting delayed. The radio did its thing, and it just made me want to be lighter, you know? I don't really get it, Ahmed, but I've got a feeling you're going to tell me, she said. Look, I'm just sorry. You got a really fucking raw deal. And I'm just sorry, I never wanted that for you. You deserve better. There's a long pause. It's 2 whole minutes. I know because Sarah's phone is on the table with the clock visible. Einstein's theory was holding weight just about now. It felt like 2 hours. I wanted to cry, but I kept it in because this has to be about Sarah. We both feigned eye contact, kind of looking at each other, but no one really breaking the silence. And then Sarah just grabbed a fork and leaned over and separated some of the food on my plate to the side, using her hands, of course. And then she took a fork and just started taking swipes of the biryani and lasagna.